guys, welcome to week 2. We're going to add 3 new exercises in today. We're going to start with sideline rotation. Grab yourself a cushion or a pillow or something to have your head lay on, and we're going to lay down on our side. And we're just going to stretch out our arm in front of us and bend our knees and our hips at about a 90-degree angle. You want to think that your rib cage is stacked and your hips are stacked. You can be on your shoulder blade instead of on your shoulder joint because you don't want to create any discomfort to your body. So you're going to take your top arm down, and we're just going to think of inhaling using our Pilates breath to float that arm up, and exhale, rotate, open. Take a breath here, and as you exhale, think of rotating back to close. So what we're doing here, we're going to do that 4 more times on this side, is we're thinking of our rib cage moving as we exhale and open our arm. Inhale, float your arm back up, and exhale, close. So really think about the ribs are rotating around the spine. Your head is going with you. Don't try to hold your neck still. Let your neck be a continuation of your spine. Exhale as you close, and give me 2 more. Your hips move a tiny bit. You're not locking anything, but you're not pulling your back with you. We're really trying to differentiate our rib cage from the rest of our body by just moving gently through that rotation. Go where it feels good to you. Take a breath, and then exhale, close. Good job. Let's flip over and do that on the other side. A lot of times when we have pain in our neck or in our low back, it's because we have restriction in our ribs. So there's a lot of things we can do to help us get our ribs to move more easily. And this is just an easy way to add something in. So again, my knees are stacked, my hips are stacked. I've got my ribs on the mat, but I'm not laying like I'm going to sleep. I've got a little bit of a space for my waist because I've got my pelvis stacked right on top of one another. We're going to inhale, float the arm up. Exhale, open the chest. Inhale, float the arm up, and exhale, come back. Good, we're going to do that 4 more times on this side. The other benefit of this exercise is that you're also opening up your chest. The weight of that top arm kind of gives you a nice opening for the front of the collarbone, the front of those pec muscles, and that becomes very restricted and tight as well when we sit a lot. So if we're sitting at a computer, sitting behind a steering wheel, sitting looking at our phone, or just even standing and looking down at a phone can really create restriction in the front of our body. And close. Let's just do 2 more. Inhale, float that arm up. Exhale, open. Inhale, float the arm up. Exhale, close. And last one. Inhale. Exhale, open, using your Pilates breath. Inhale. And exhale, close. Awesome. Now, let's do something called cat back. This is not the same cat back that you would do in a yoga class. In a yoga class, you kind of move your head and your tail at the same time. We're going to do a cat back to articulate our spine so that we can really feel the movement of our spine. Our hands start so that our wrists are directly under our shoulders and our knees are directly under our hips. And we're in neutral spine. So think about where your neutral is. We talked about that last week. When you have that little low back space, you still want to have a low back space even though you're now off the mat. So I'm going to take a breath. And as I exhale, I'm going to engage my core to tuck my pelvis, let my tail go down towards the floor, and then really scoop out the abdominals 1 vertebrae at a time, moving the spine and bringing the crown of our head down towards the mat. I'm going to stay here and take a breath, and as I exhale, I'm going to move my pelvis back toward my neutral, and then start to think of lengthening my spine back to neutral. The crown of my head goes forward. Take a breath, exhale. Use your core to tuck your pelvis under, and then articulate up, really creating space for each vertebrae and for each disc as I move. Take a breath here, and bring that pelvis back, lengthening 1 vertebrae at a time. We're going to do 1 more. Oh, this is 3. Let's tuck under, round through, let your head hang down, take a breath, exhale, bring the pelvis back to its neutral, and the crown of the head goes forward. We've got 2 more. look at my arms and my legs. They're not really moving. It's just moving my spine, almost like a wheel. Really trying to create a fluid motion. And the head comes back. And we've got one more. Take a breath. Exhale. Tuck your pelvis. Round through your low back. Think of a cat arching up. Your head comes down. Take a breath. And your pelvis comes back, and that spine comes nice and long to neutral. Okay, last exercise today is a half roll back. So if you have tight hamstrings or even tight hips, it can force your pelvis to be in a tuck. And we don't want to start there. We want to think of starting in a neutral spine. So when you sit down, if you sit, you want to feel that you're on what we call your sits bones, your ischial tuberosity, the bottom of your pelvis. So if you have a hard time maintaining this neutral position, grab a cushion again, or even like a yoga block you could sit on, or a nice solid book, and just elevate your hips a little bit to let you open up the pelvis. Your ribs are in your body, and we're going to go ahead and just think of using our core to pull the pelvis away from the femur, the thigh bone. So I'm really scooping out my abdominals here. My ribs are flexing in response to my pelvis coming backwards. And then I'm going to take a breath here, and I'm going to exhale, fold forward, and now I'm on the front of my sit bones. I'm going to take a breath, exhale, scoop out the abdominals, and round myself back. My shoulders are down away from my ears. Inhale. I can really feel my core engage here to pull my pelvis behind my femurs. Exhale, scoop, and round my pelvis back. Shoulders are relaxed. Inhale and exhale, curl forward. Now, you could do 3 to 5 of those and then switch, and then let's add a stacking of the spine for 3 more. So we're just going to change it up a little bit. We're going to start here, take a breath, exhale, same exact thing. You're going to use your core to tuck your pelvis and round back. Stay here, take a breath. Those ribs are bent in response to that low back bending. And now when we get here, I want you to feel yourself on the bottom of your sit bones and start articulating your spine one vertebrae at a time. Shoulders stay down, head comes back to your neutral. Take a breath. Exhale, scoop. Deep low belly activates to pull your pelvis away from your femur. Inhale, exhale, flex yourself forward. Let your arms be relaxed. Find your bottom of your sit bones and then articulate up, trying to feel that you're lengthening your spine from tail to head. One more time, take a breath. Exhale, use your core, tuck your pelvis, pull your pelvis behind your femurs. Really feel the engagement of the core muscles here. Flex yourself forward. And then one last time, really feel those sit bones and start to articulate up one vertebrae at a time, coming nice and tall through the crown of your head. So I want you to give those 3 exercises a try this week, and I'll be back next Monday with a few more.